What's up, team? This is Frank, and this is West of Loathing. I had no idea what I was getting into with West of Loathing, but a friend recommended it, so I gave it a shot. This game is an RPG based in the Wild West and prizes witty writing, silly and funny events, and a good amount of side quests. Although this game is an RPG, the combat isn't really the best part. Where this game really shines is in the writing. Maybe you weren't bothering to read the text in the scene, but if you want to know if the humor fits your style, check it out. If you lulled even a little, then you can expect a lot more clever and unique conversations. At the start of the game, you get to select a randomly generated name and pick a special talent to start your adventure. Eventually, your actions will also get you a partner and a horse to travel around with. You should always click furiously as you roam around the environment, as there are many hidden items and events to find. Enemy encounters happen in three main ways. You either hit a random encounter as you travel to the location in the overworld, run into enemies inside that location, or find infinitely spawning enemies for you to grind levels on. But over time, these enemies will also spawn with greater numbers and stats up to a max level, so try not to overstay your welcome. Your HP resets after each battle, and losing your partner won't cause defeat. However, if you die, then you'll respawn to get another chance and become angrier, which grants you +3 to all stats. Now this is where the game gets a little complicated, and I don't want to lose you in the weeds, but I'll try to explain. You have a stat called grit. This determines your pain tolerance. So, for example, if your grit gives you a pain tolerance of 3, then you can die 3 times before you get sent back to your bed to sober up and try again the next day. But that's just one of a set. You see, your G stats are grit, gumption, and glamour. Grit's your toughness and affects things like your max HP and how much you can eat. Gumption affects your speed, ability points, and spleen capacity. Oh, and glamour is your decorum, maybe? You get meat and item rewards with this, and increased liver capacity. What? Oh, you're wondering what stomach, spleen, and liver capacity are? Well, in your travels, you'll get crazy amounts of food, liquor, and potions. These will increase stats for the day. Basically, you're limited on how much you can eat and drink, and a day resets when you exceed your pain tolerance. You also have your M stats like Moxie, Mysticism, and Muscles. They all affect how much damage you can take and dish out with your pistol, magic, and melee respectively. They're also involved in other events in-game, like having Muscles can give you the option to intimidate someone in conversation, and Mysticism can let you solve or understand complicated information someone is telling you. Battles are turn-based and sorta straightforward. You have both melee and ranged attacks as well as various special abilities shown here. These abilities cost ability points, which are limited based on your equipment and gumption. There are also consumables that you can use with various effects. Controlling my partner was super simple. I chose Susie Cochran, and she only got 3 abilities all game. She can shoot enemies one at a time, and can build you a barrier which blocks either one melee attack or infinite ranged attacks. Oh, and she gets this handy lasso which stuns the enemy. Despite the attempts at making moves and fights hilarious and unique, I found a super effective way to easily outmaneuver all my opponents, which I never ended up changing since my abilities also leveled up from gaining XP. Right, by default the game will auto-spend your XP to give you a well-rounded character, but you're free to turn this off and manually build your avatar, which is where you can find some replayability if you want to try a different build. Oh, and there are some elements which I never really researched in detail, since they didn't really seem to play a huge role in my run. And that's it. That's everything you need to know about West of Loathing. In the end, the game provides you with a lighthearted, often funny, and unique adventure. Some of the perks and stats can be a bit confusing, given that they have weird names. Also, I never learned how to tell if a mob was at my level or too high, and getting insta-kill prompted me to leave the area in search of an easier hunting ground. Luckily, you can always ask your partner for reminders on your main and side quests. If you're looking for a casual adventure role-playing game with clever and humorous writing and free reign to tackle side quests and events in the order of your choosing, then you might enjoy West of Loathing. If you don't like relatively short games with oversimplified overworlds, visuals, and combat, as well as tons of reading with some confusing mechanics and stat information, then you may not like this game.